Good morning, Canada. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Welcome here to lovely Halifax this Monday morning for Tech Finals Day. And we're bringing you both gold medal matches, the Toyota National Championships 2023. And we're going to start with the Jubilee Trophy match. Good morning, everybody, and we'll be joined shortly. We've got Marvin O'Kelly who will be on the call, and myself, Richard Scott, bringing you today's Toyota National Championships, both the Jubilee Trophy Final as well as the Challenge Trophy Men's Final. Today's competition, of course, were brought by Canada Soccer and its sponsors, CIBC, Nike, TELUS, Allstate, Toyota Canada, Visa, Carlsberg, Gatorade, GA Appliances, Maple Lodge, GoGo Squid, Casada, Tech, Access Storage, Degree, and of course the Government of Canada. So welcome one, welcome all. Two teams that we have lined up for the opening match. We have the Griffins from Mont-Royal, Outremont, which is a corner in Montreal. And we've got Holy Cross FC, who are the reigning champions from 2022, and they're based in St. John's, Newfoundland, Labrador. So it's a lovely day here at Mainland's Commons, and we're looking forward to bringing you today's National Championships final. From the benches, you've got Jake Stanford, who's back behind the bench for Holy Cross FC. And then on the other side, you've got the assistant coach who will fill in today for today's final, Georges-Éric Pinson. Today's referee is Isabelle Duclos from Mascouche. She has been part of the Canada Soccer Next Gen program since 2021. And this is her second national championships. In 2019, she did the bronze medal match. She's had a match as a fourth official in the Canadian Premier League already, and last year took part in the CONCACAF Girls Under 15 Championship. Captains for today's match, you'll see number 12, Sophia, for the Griffins. She is their right back. So that's Sophia Ricciardelli. And Keisha Young, who's a familiar sight for the Holy Cross faithful. She's there as the captain today, and as usual playing left back. So we'll get underway in a moment. And we've got our kickoff there. On the left wing there, it'll be one of the players that we'll be talking about today, is Jane Pope going down the left side. And again, Holy Cross FC were last year's national championship winners. And they were the first team ever from Newfoundland Labrador to win the national title. And so now they're trying to become the first Newfoundland Labrador team to win back-to-back titles at the adult competition, either men or women. So only Holy Cross men from the late 80s, 1988. And last year in Vaughan, just north of Toronto, Holy Cross were able to bring together. So play in now, Jane Pope into the box. She'll center it, and there's a first chance, and it is just wide. Up top there, that's Emily Bailey, one of the players to watch today, with a chance right in front of goal. And Jane Pope is going to slide in to take the corner kick, and potentially the first big chance here for Holy Cross in the early minutes of the match. Jane Pope with 4 goals already in this competition. She has a delivery. And cleared by Mont-Royal. Second chance in for Jane Pope, and it is pulled away for a second corner kick. There's your captain, Sophia Ricciardelli, who just knocked it away. Bring us in for a second chance. You can see Holy Cross have some numbers there in the box. And there's the ball in, and there it is. It's a goal. It's a goal. And it is Emily Bailey with the header. And it's 1-0 opening goal for Holy Cross here in the 3rd minute, and just perfect timing. I've got my colleague here now who's beside me, but opening 1-0 goal for Holy Cross.
Joining late. But what a start to this incredible final.
Great delivery in there from Jane Pope. She had back-to-back corner kicks opportunities. Emily Bailey's also had a chance early in the first half. And let's just take another look at that replay. If we can, we'll get it up there. Just make sure we had the right goal scorer there. But
as we take a look back, gets a great ball down the byline as a cutback.
so if you're joining us, this is Richard Scott and Marvin O'Kello. We're bringing to you today the gold medal final, the Toyota National Championships, the Jubilee Trophy final.
Yes, we got this beautiful Thanksgiving Monday here. We couldn't ask for any better weather. We got one young team that's only been together for a couple years versus a very experienced Holy Cross team that's been together for many years. And as you said it there, Richard, they have the experience, and they'll be looking to bring it home again.
Yeah, the Montreal team, a lot of players were still at the U19 level last year. One of the oldest players on the team is the goalkeeper at a young age of 26.
Wow.
But they've come up together, and they said they were really happy with their second game in this tournament, where maybe the first game took them a bit of time to get going, but once they kind of got their feet wet, and when they start to play, they know that they can be the better team on the pitch. They're young, they've got the energy, they've got some good technical players. But of course, it's their first time here at this competition, and that learning curve in terms of a little bit of experience.
Definitely. I mean, tournaments like this that are many games in a short period of time, you play 5 games in 6 days. It's all about momentum, and a young team like this, every win that they pick up just unifies them and will go a long way towards their future together. As you said, 26 is the oldest player. They got a long career ahead of them.
And they did say what's important to them when we spoke to their captain earlier in the week was that they wanted to enjoy themselves. If they got to win, that'd be an extra shot of boost of confidence to the team. But when coming into the tournament, they wanted to first and foremost make sure that they were enjoying themselves, but also just show how they can play. And I think we've seen in the first 3-4 games for them that they're a team that can play and string some passes together and look for an equalizer here in today's match.
Yeah, right off the bat, you're seeing that this Montreal team is willing to play out of the back. Their coach has obviously instilled the confidence in them to try to pull the other team in. They're confident on the ball technically, and they're happy to build out of the back and then try to link with those forwards. So it is a risky tactic at times, because if you do turn it over deep in your end, it's not very far for the other team to go to get a goal, but risk versus reward.
So we'll turn it over to you for the play-by-play, and already a few minutes in, We have a 1-0 lead in the match.
And that's the Holy Cross captain, Sarah Jones, on the ball. Looks to get this ball into the box. The right foot delivery. And it's a good one. Briefly cleared. Montreal gets a chance to counter. It's a slightly heavy touch. Gets a second chance at it though. She's got time here to turn, and she does. Puts a good ball over the top for number 22, Danya Salaman Ali, chasing it. The benefit of the slow build-up is that you get the other team tired. You know, you don't always see the benefit sometimes until the second half, but it does allow your team to not only control the ball and gain confidence with those reps of getting the touches in. The center backs get touches, the wingers, everyone gets a touch, which usually leads to getting those nerves out of the system early. But then in the second half, you'll see that the other team will normally tire from that tactic.
You saw in the last game that Mont-Royal, when they went down 1-0 against Caledon, they upped their energy until they got the equalizer, and then held back perhaps a little bit, but it's got confirmation on that, on the goal scorer being number 5, not number 4, Jessie Noseworthy, and she's one of the stories of the game here.
Good ball forward there.
Jessie Noseworthy, number 5, so she's a regular striker, and I'm sure all the Holy Cross fans are used to seeing her up top, one of the more dynamic scorers that this team has had over the last decade.
She's just looking for
she's
number 29 there.
Center back for this tournament, but of course up for the header on the opening goal of the match.
And you said it before the match there, that number 29, Jane Pope, who was the intended target for that pass, is another player to look out for in this game.
Yeah, MVP of last year's tournament, involved in 11 of Holy Cross's 16 goals, and plays on the wing. She can play on either wing, but you'll see her up on the left wing today, and one of the best goal scorers in the country, which isn't playing pro. She's been part of the Holy Cross setup and part of probably a dozen of these national championships, from the youth level, winning silver medals, and then of course winning gold at the senior levels last year.
So one to keep an eye out for today. Number 29, Jane Pope. There's a free kick there, won by number 22, Danya from Montreal. She gets herself into the box quickly.
As we're just waiting for the free kick there. That is Osamedi there. She's one of the players to watch for the Griffins. She likes to move the ball, change the tempo of the game.
She's looking for some movement in front of her. But probably look to get this around the penalty spot. And she does beat that first defender, which is always what you want from those set pieces. You don't want it to be cleared by that first defender you want to get it over their head and into the mixer there, and that was a good delivery. Unfortunate not have one of her teammates trying to attack that, but good delivery early on there from number 14, Osamedi. Early on, both teams just feeling each other out. Great touch out of the air. And Montreal happy to go all the way back and restart. Very patient young team. Cut out well. Abby Evans lays it back. And that's another long ball there from Sarah Jones. Looking for Jane Pope, just unable to control. All the way back to the keeper there. She's under pressure immediately, and that's where I said the risk versus reward. Number 4, Emily Bailey will want that one back. She had it with the wide open net, but well defended in the end. But Montreal early on, we're seeing they're victims of their own tactics, really. You know, they're maybe a bit too confident at times out of the back and not just getting the ball out of danger. It led to another good chance there for Holy Cross to put it up 2-0 early on.
A couple big chances there, one from Just in the box there, with just a big block from Casey Kosher, they were one of the center backs there for the Griffins. And then, of course, Jane Pope with the shot, which just went over the crossbar there. But that was a big, big chance there. Emily Bailey already 2 or 3 chances.
Even when you do try to play as a possession style team, there are certain areas and certain moments you've got to just get rid of it. And that was one of those where she should have taken a look over her shoulder, saw the pressure, and maybe even got a call from her keeper to just get rid of the ball sometimes there.
So if the Griffins are looking for a player to kind of settle the team down, coach tells us that number 12, Sophia Ricciardelli, she's really one of those leaders, vocal players out there, and will kind of help settle the team, but also help energize the team as they push on for an equalizer here in the final.
Like the Newfoundland team on the men's side as well, you see that Newfoundland really does like to set up defensively and looking to counter. You know, they know that they're not going to have the brunt of the possession, but they're happy with that, and they do a great job of taking their chances when they come. And Montreal, the exact opposite of that. They're looking to create a lot of opportunities, have a lot of possession, but it's a numbers game. And so far, the important one, 1-0. Montreal, good first touch out of the air, but well defended. And a good strike from range there. Is that the number 3, Alicia Anaya? A good right-footed shot from distance, but right into the keeper's hands.
That's Shannon Galway in net. She was the backup keeper at last year's national championships, and coach tells us she's been one of the MVPs of the squad this year in the competition. She's had 4 straight clean sheets here this week.
Impressive. Good pressure from Danya Salaman Ali there. Not giving the Newfoundland backline any chance to breathe. She's on it again here. Looks for the forward pass, but immediately cut out, which gives Aline a chance to drive forward. Has support from Alicia Anaya on the right-hand side. She uses it. Does well to just knock it around her defender, but she recovers well.
There'll be a few players that you're going to see with the Griffins that are very comfortable on the ball. One of the ones that you might see in the middle there is number 13. She's just now up on the left side, and she'll like to cut in and around players from time to time. And that's Sefra Gaetani.
Yeah, so far she showed her skill. She's controlled a couple of balls out of the air with ease, and she's already shown that she can use both her left foot and right foot effectively. So a very two-footed player. And she's switching side to side a lot here, so clearly been given the freedom to wander. But it's a beautiful morning here today, Richard, for these finals.
It has, and it's been a wonderful week outside of, a little storm weather yesterday morning. Really clear skies all week long for these players. Not a lot, of course, yesterday quite a bit of wind, but
yeah, it could have been worse, I'll tell you. This summer has been a doozy. We've had forest fires and hurricanes and flooding, and so given all that, I think we can count our blessings this week has gone the way it has.
Well, Nova Scotia is always a wonderful place to visit, and when they told me to come in here, you had me at fish and chips, so I'm out here anytime.
I'm sure that some of the teams have been trying to avoid a lot of those temptations with their meals this week while they're on the East Coast, but don't want those heavy stomachs going into these games. But we're definitely spoiled with good food here in Atlantic Canada. Newfoundland not having to travel too far, obviously. The Holy Cross team. Very familiar with the national tournament. Last year when I was there in Vaughan with the men's side, we played a very strong Holy Cross team that beat us actually 3-1. and end up going on to win silver in the national final. So a program that's very well versed in these national championships, as you discussed.
Yeah, and their coach there, he's been to about 20 of these national championships at the different age categories, and you'll see him on the sideline there. He's vocal. He's always talking to his players.
Having somebody like that is invaluable, you know, understanding the dynamics of the tournaments, the quick games, managing minutes, managing injuries. Definitely an asset to have for the Newfoundland.
And one of the things, because he stepped away a bit from coaching this year, and you know, obviously it was wonderful to see him win the championship last year, finally get that gold medal. But you know what, he said, you know, the players, you know, both on the men's and women's programs, you know, that they're pretty smart. They know what they're doing. So he set up a leadership group, and on the women's side, it was Alex Morgan and Nicole Tourneville who kind of led the team, and now Jake was, you know, brought back in for the final week here.
And no, that is not the Alex Morgan who plays on the women's national team. She's not here on vacation.
No, but a very popular Alex Morgan that has played many years with Holy Cross, and she's picked up an injury. She hasn't been able to get any minutes yet in this tournament, but she is there on the bench, and we'll see if she does get some action. The other player that, of course, is missing today too is Connie Lewis, who has started just about every game this week. Actually, Holy Cross have used the same starting lineup for every game in this tournament, and she's picked up an injury in the last game, so we're not too sure if we'll see her today.
Okay, it's always unfortunate when somebody wearing the number 10 doesn't get a chance to play. As a number purist myself, you know, 10 is always one of the best players on the field, one of the most creative, and I'm sure her team will miss her. But as you've said, they've been doing well together with what they've been going with the lineup, and hopefully they'll be able to continue that into this final. Early on, the refs really letting the girls play. There's been a couple 50-50s that, you know, I've seen other refs call in this tournament, but this ref really happy to let the girls play, let the ball keep moving, and you love to see that early on.
Yeah, we talked at the onset that today's referee is Isabelle Duclos, but both referees for the Jubilee Trophy Final and the Challenge Trophy Final, who will be Mario Alayes, they're both from the Canada Soccer Next Gen program. So they're both young referees. They're both still learning, but they've also both had some good experiences. And of course, Isabelle, who is on the pitch right now, she was at the CONCACAF Girls Under 15 Championship last year.
Well, that's great to hear, especially on the ref development level. You know, here in Nova Scotia, they're doing a lot of ref education because it's an important part of the game. You know, and we've seen it in the last couple of weeks, even in the Premier League. You know, there's a lot of debatable calls that happen even with the introduction of things like VAR. So having a good ref, for me, is one that understands that they're not the star of the game. You know, they're there to just facilitate, make the calls when there's a call needed to be made. But really, a good ref you don't notice throughout the 90 minutes.
Yeah. And if we're talking about future referees, there's always potential that some of these players at the adult competition will be future referees or future coaches themselves.
I certainly hope so. You know, it's one thing that's missing, especially in Nova Scotia here. We don't have enough players and people who maybe stop playing through injury but take on reffing. I think it's something that they really need to continue to work on, and even at the younger ages, you know, the provincial teams and the Canada Games teams, getting them excited, whether that's covering their referee cost or whatever it might be to incentivize them. But definitely want to see more people who have played the game at a high level continue to give back to the game by reffing and coaching.
A little bit of a lull the last few minutes, looking to kind of break forward, and Holy Cross pretty comfortable. They're playing with a back four. Their last game they played with a back five, which helped them secure first place in the group. And the way that this competition works is if you win the national championships, you will have the best schedule the following year. So Holy Cross played 4 straight days, which was tough, but then they had yesterday off. So they had yesterday to recover, you know, get off their feet a little bit. You know, players like Jane Pope, which have played a lot of minutes. You can see a little bit of tape on her knee there. So just, you know, give those players a chance to recover and be better for the final today.
And where did they place? You said last year they were.
So they finished first last year,
Okay.
first time ever, and again first place this year. And it will be how the province finishes. So Ontario finished, if they finish second, whichever Ontario team comes the following year will get that second seed. And so that's how the seeding works and determines the schedule and the draw for each year's national championships.
That makes a lot of sense to reward the team that won it last year, the 4 days and then the one break before going into a medal game. The only other option you'd probably want is maybe getting a rest day on the first day. So you get to kind of scout out the other competition, and then going into day 2, you're fresh.
Yeah. And of course, the flip side is they'll play 5 games, but we'll see how that works out for Western Halifax, because Western Halifax did have, as a second Nova Scotia team, came in as the 10th seed, so they did not play in the first match, but have played every day since.
And another dynamic is university soccer. Suburban on the men's side had a few players who were playing that same day, because not like previous years where all the CIS soccer took a break for these national tournaments. Since COVID, unfortunately, that hasn't been able to happen because of scheduling conflicts. So that was something that hindered the Suburban team in day 1, having some players who were involved in AUS action with the Dallas Mew game. Not as many issues on the women's side, but definitely something to keep an eye out. Great bit of play there from Jane Pope. Looks to do a 1-2 with her teammate. And that is Abby Evans it was that she was trying to do the 1-2, but just didn't get the ball back, unfortunately.
Yeah, starting to see a little bit of that combination work there between Jane and Abby, and of course then you're keeping the young Emily up top.
Keisha Young doing a great job of getting forward from that left back position as well to support Jane Pope down that left-hand side. And that's her there winning the ball and trying to find Jane. And also clearing up when she needs to.
So we talk about the Holy Cross schedule. They played 4 straight days, won 4 straight games, haven't conceded a goal yet. The Griffins, they played 3 days in a row, won their first 3 matches, set them up well, and then had a day off, and then had a little bit of a nervy 1-1 draw with Caledon United from Ontario. And then they're again back out on the pitch today.
Already starting to get a little bit chilly. You know what they say here in Halifax, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. We see another foul called there. The ref tried to let it play, but didn't see an advantage.
I think what we'll hopefully start to see a little bit as we move into the second half, or second part of this first half, is just a little more on the ball from the Griffins.
Yeah.
A little more build-up play, and that's one of their strengths for sure when it comes to just the control that they've been able to have on the ball in this short amount of time this week.
Yeah, both teams looking to take advantage of just numbers, really. Just trying to overload one side, like you saw Jane there trying to do 1-2s. But I'd like to see a bit more of some individual skill, and those chances to take players on 1v1, maybe do a step over, go around the player, and then look for a cross. And here we are now. We're starting to see the Montreal young team. That was number 13 there.
Yeah, that's Sephra, and that's the player that you're going to see that really has those twists and turns on the ball that she's had in the last 3-4 games.
It's important to have players like that who can unlock a defense, especially a team like this Holy Cross team, which is very well set up defensively, has that low block there, and Sarah Jones just missing her tackle there.
You could hear in the last game too, some of the Caledon players were starting to figure her out, number 13, and just say, hey, she's going to cut in every single time, were some of the comments down at pitch side in the last match. But I think she, of course, will be an important player. Another important player who starts the game on the match is going to be the number 6 when she likely comes into the second half. Alma, again, a very creative player. She's going to be the game changer who loves to take players on one-on-one. So hopefully we get a chance to see her in the second half.
Definitely, crowds love players like that. They're flashy, they're direct, they're willing to take the responsibility on their shoulders, and you always need a few of those. Is that the type of player that you were there, Richard?
Not at all.
Maybe you went the safe route a little bit more often.
Yeah, keep me on the wings, but you know, can run all day, that's for sure. But they are, you know, those are the players that you want to watch.
Definitely, you know, there's a
The
reason
players
that the Messis and the Mbappes, you know, the Ronaldos get the big bucks. It's not because they're safe. It's because they're willing to take the risks. And sometimes you get rewarded for it. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't work. But the willingness to try. As we get a good ball into the box there, well defended.
It's Kate Hickey quick on the ball with a shot. Oh, what a great save.
That's an incredible hit there from Terry Murphy, number 6. The ball bouncing in front of her. She had nothing in front, so she decided why not take a pop, and it was well struck onto the just underneath the bar and well saved there by the keeper. But good chance from Holy Cross to extend their lead.
And apologies, that was number 6, not number 8 on the ball. That great shot. And you're seeing Jane Pope again, as always, with the corner kicks.
My apologies there. That was Kate Hickey.
There it is again. So she gets her goal this time.
And that's Emily Bailey, number 4, who converts on a scrappy bit of play there in the box and in the right spot at the right time to tuck that away. And that's 2-0 for Holy Cross. As we said, they're defending national champions and they're showing their character and why they are here in back-to-back years in the final. They haven't enjoyed much of the possession, but as we said early on, that is their style. They're willing to counter. They're willing to take those moments where they're just defending and then catch the other team asleep. And that's exactly what happened on that one there.
Emily Bailey with her 4th goal of the week, so she's tied for the team lead now with Jane Pope goals this week.
Great touch by Aline. Adrienne Florine there trying to get around the defender, but unable to keep it in play. So Montreal will now have to go for it a bit more. They can't just knock the ball about like they have been in the first 30 minutes there. They'll have to be a bit more direct and try to pull one back.
So it's both goals have been scored from Jane Pope corner kicks. And if you would have seen on the replay, Emily Bailey just kind of hopping in front of the goalkeeper. Ball went into another player and then of course just kind of fell very gratefully to her, and she just knocked it in for the 2-0 lead.
And I was actually going to criticize early on seeing Jane Pope being the one to take the corner because she seems like she has a tall frame and would be somebody you'd want on the end of a ball. But seeing her delivery now, you can understand that the quality of the delivery is sometimes a bit more important.
And they do have the advantage of a couple of tall center backs they can bring up, and of course Jessie Noseworthy, who has, you know, traditionally been a striker and has that nose for the net, so they can employ her, I think, in the box, which gives her that chance.
Definitely, it reminds me when Sam Allardyce was the England manager and he had Harry Kane on corners, and there's taken a lot of criticism.
But Emily Bailey, I mean, she, you know, coach says that she may not be your typical number 9, but you know, she's their energizer bunny.
Yeah,
She
she's
might
everywhere
run
so
15
far.
to 16 kilometers a game, and but definitely an important player. And now 4 goals in this short week here in Halifax.
Jane Pope wins the free kick in a dangerous area, probably asking for her yards there. Looks like they're only about 5 or 6 yards away from the ball. And now the ref will ask them to move back. I think what you'll see here is most likely a right-footed cross into the back post, one of those that if nobody touches it, it could end up just sneaking into that bottom corner there. So most likely Jane Pope, number 29.
And if not, the other player there is the captain, Keisha Young. And she's the left-footed option.
And there is the right-footed cross, maybe just a bit too wide there, but not a bad delivery. Traditionally, you want to look for, like I said, that far post that the goalie has to wait for that last second to see if somebody's going to touch it, and if they don't, it just sometimes just sneaks into that corner. Players like Cindy Ty and Mary Beth Bowie here locally from Nova Scotia, both great at that delivery.
And we're hoping that we get to see Cindy Ty in the stands today. She's been away at the under 15 competition scouting. And of course, Cindy led our under 20 squad this year to qualify for the FIFA Under 20 World Cup, which will be in Colombia next year.
I had the pleasure of being coached by Cindy Ty when I first moved to Nova Scotia here in 2001, and she really helped me in terms of making me a two-footed player. She spoke about the importance of not being a one-footed player and being predictable. Like you even said it earlier on there, that number 13, Sephra, some of the players are saying that she always cuts in, you know, and that sometimes is people cutting into their dominant foot, trying to get a shot off. But if you can be a two-footed player, it makes it even harder for defenders and the other teams to set up to defend you. So,
no, for sure, you want players that you know can play, are comfortable with either foot, and then they're also comfortable playing more than one position. It's
definitely
such an important part, and especially at the international game, you have to be able to play more than one position.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, these young players, if you want to get on the field and maybe you can only play a left back, you know, and somebody comes in who's better than you at left back, having that adaptability to maybe play right back, maybe play right forward, allows you more chances at just getting on the field sometimes as well.
Yeah, and exactly. And then depending on the opponent and how the coach might want to set up, and the strength of your opponent might also determine, you know, how far or how up, you know, that you might be playing.
Exactly. So all that to say, we'll see if the coaches make any tactical switches to see if they can take advantage of any holes they're seeing in the other team's defense. Good ball there, looking for number 15, Aline, but just unable to get on the end of it. She resets back to her center back. Great control. Sophia unable to keep the ball. But really great control there from Danya Salaman Ali out of the air. She's a strong player, but really good on the ball technically as well. Just shielding it for her teammates, trying to get them involved. So
And
just
she's
need a
up
bit
there
more support.
as their target player, and they'll want to get her the ball, but obviously they have the wingers too that can jump in.
Yeah, the
Montreal
key thing
playing
is
with a 4-3-3 formation today, and that's at number 22, Danya. She's going to be up top the middle, and then you'll have either Aline or Sephra on the two wings, and they might interchange from time to time.
Yeah, and I just like to see those runners just timing their runs a bit better. That's both number 15, Aline, and number 13, Sephra there, just playing a little bit closer to Danya so that as that ball's coming in, she has the option of flicking it one time, maybe in behind the defense, or laying it off to her and then spinning. So the timing's just not been perfect so far. Like right now, number 15 could be running by her, but that's that age showing a little bit, you know. Montreal, again, victims of their own confidence and overplaying a bit at times, but confident on the ball. That's number 19, Rose Hughes, looks for the forward pass. Sephra makes a great run in behind, cuts back onto her right foot, tries the cross, but just unable to get any purchase on it.
Can see her just break in there and get around the right back, Sarah Jones. You're starting to see some of those nice 1-2-3 passing that you want to see when you watch football.
Definitely. You can tell that the nerves seem to be both gone for teams there that anyone had in the first few minutes. National finals, especially for the Montreal team. You know, you said some of the players are 18, 19, so for a lot of them, this will be their first national final, and with that comes a different level of pressure. And Newfoundland, Holy Cross, as you can tell, they're not playing with any sort of reserve. They're going for it. They're getting stuck in their tackles. They're communicating well. They're acting like they've been there before.
One of the things you saw last year was some wonderful goals. It wasn't just how many goals they scored, but just the way that they scored some of their goals last year was some wonderful, wonderful football. So hope to see a little more of that today. And of course, the other side of football is the set plays, and set plays have already delivered 2 goals today for Holy Cross, and that's been the difference so far after 36 minutes.
Definitely, and that's one thing that I'd like to see, you know, CF Mont-Royal improve on is their set piece delivery. They had that one early on. They got over the first defender, but just not quite into that danger area in the penalty spot where the center backs who were pushing forward, get a chance to get ahead on it. So really important that when they do get more of the set pieces, that they try to take advantage of it. As Jane Pope juggles the ball a couple times in the air before finding Abby Evans, who pushes it forward. Well cleared. Keisha Young. Looks for Jane Pope, who shields it well. Has Keisha Young beside her, but decides to try to roll her defender. And that's Aline. Adrienne Florine defending her, does well. Avoids the corner, so we have another throw. Again here with the timing of the runs. You wanna throw that ball as that player's coming to you, not that they get to you, they stop, and then you throw it at them, because then the defenders are already there and waiting. It's a bit predictable. And that's Danya trying to hold up the ball again, but she needs some options behind her there when she's controlling that ball. Great ball into the box again from experience number 29, Jane Pope.
A couple of good defensive plays there. Just a little shout out, one for the little touch away from Osa, number 14, and then header away from Rose Hughes.
Great shielding there from the center mid there for Holy Cross. See her just use her body and just lean into the midfielder a little bit, create a little half yard of space to be able to switch that ball. We're about the 38-minute mark here, and it's still 2-0 Holy Cross. I didn't see too much in that one myself there. Ref saw something I didn't. That's why they're there. Some of the fans also not too happy with that call. Everyone's a critic.
So it looks like we're going to get a left foot this time on the free kick with a 3-man wall.
That is a great delivery by Keisha Young with that left foot. Showing her experience with good pace and a good height on that. She beat the first defender.
Cleared away again by number 17, Casey Kosher. So they do have some height there with their two central defenders. One of their other tall players that might come off the bench that you'll see will be number 9, which usually comes in for the last 10 minutes or so.
And we get a corner there for Holy Cross. They'll look to get a few more numbers up, but having the 2-0 lead, they are still keeping 2 in the back just to protect what they have. Number 22 from Mont-Royal, this striker comes back to help her defenders in this set piece. The crowd just in front of the goalie there. Another chance for delivery there for Jane Pope, well defended. 5 minutes left in the first half here before any extra time. Great delivery again from Jane Pope with the left. Sefra clears it out briefly. Back to Jane Pope, who's now on that right-hand side. Does well. Looked like she almost did enough to win a corner there, but defended well. Good battle by Jane Pope. On the other field there, we have local team UDFC playing for a bronze medal.
First time that you've got three Nova Scotia teams playing for medals at the adult competition.
Yeah, so we have Western who will be in the final later on and looking to play for gold, and in the bronze medal match we have who?
Suburban FC will be in the bronze medal match.
It's great to see those two teams. I played against them this summer, and they both beat my team out, so that's why we're not here. But now that Suburban team is very, very strong. They have 2 players in every position that can come in and do a job. But Western are the perennial national team. You know, they don't have any youth programs leading into the Western setup, so they only play in the men's league. There's no women's team. It's the only one that they have, but they do a great job of bringing in the right players, especially coming in later into the season. You saw Sean Kojas, who got called up for this national tournament. He was there in 2017 when they won gold, and coached by Alan Jazik, who's got a ton of experience, not just in AUS soccer, but he was also the head coach of that team when they won gold in 2017. And they're not the flashiest team, but they know how to win. Counterattack here again. Chance for number 22, Danya, to run at the Newfoundland defense.
A little bit of no-nonsense defending there from Jesse Noseworthy, number 5.
Ball back to Sophia Ricardelli. Gets a one-time cross into the box with her right foot. Good delivery. Well defended by Holy Cross again. Keisha Young passes it forward to Kate Hickey. Back to Keisha for the long ball forward. Well done by Emily Bailey, lays it back. Looking for Abby Evans, who chases that in. Thought that the keeper might have come and gathered that, but she's happy to just sit in her net there. I think the sun might be an issue as well, just seeing her block her eyes.
Yeah, most of these Mont-Royal players, it's their first time here at the national championships. The one exception is the goalkeeper, Leah, who did take part the last time that the Griffins reached the national championships a few years back.
This field can be a tough one sometimes when the sun's up. There's not many trees or any buildings in the surrounding area, so important that the keepers sometimes use those hats. You don't see that used that often anymore, but back in the day, that's what people did when there was the sun. Great ball out wide by number 18.
Shayla. She's one of the important players the Griffins will need to kind of build a comeback here. Number 18.
Cross looking for number 13, Sephora. Just a bit too high and unable to get any sort of power to test the goalie there, but they'll want more of that as the game goes on. Try to get the ball into the box and really test this goalie from Holy Cross, who's not been tested so far, Shannon Galloway.
Coach told us with number 18, Shayla, she's the type of player that wants to make that pass. She's a technical player. She's good in spaces, but she'll want to make that difference, and she's had a couple good games already, of course, in this tournament.
Jessie Noseworthy clears it at the second attempt. After a short goal kick there, missed kick by Shannon Galloway. Chance for number 22, Danya, to get in behind. Well challenged by Shannon Galloway. Good strength in the air.
Little contact there from the striker, Danya, and the goalkeeper, Shannon Galloway. And Shannon Galloway comes out on top with the ball in her hands, and she can now look to roll that out or kick it out.
Good battle here. Oh, careful. That is my worry sometimes when they have these fences so close to the field.
A little shout out there to the photographer, who took a little bit of a hit also from the player Abigail. Looks like both the player and the photographer are okay though.
As we mentioned, how important set pieces are. They'll want to try to pull one back before halftime here. As number 19, Rose Hughes, with the ball into the box. It bounces dangerously, but well dealt by Shannon Galloway again. Look to see out this first half with a 2-0 lead, and halfway there to a gold medal. Mont-Royal will want to make some changes at halftime, whether that's with personnel or formation change, but they need to do something here to get themselves back into this match. Well done by the number 13 there, Sephra. I thought the ref could have played an advantage, but didn't see any. Another chance for Rose Hughes to get a ball into the box.
Their numbers up. Their other center back, who's the other tall player, is held back, and there are some options there in the box we'll go towards.
I'm surprised that there's 3 players from Mont-Hughes that are just not in the box at all right now. You're down 2-0. You got to gamble a little bit. And maybe they knew she was going to shoot. Maybe they knew something we didn't.
Ball was well wide there. And that's the halftime whistle.
I am Marvin O'Kello, and I'm here with Richard Scott.
Yep, take maybe a chance to kind of congratulate first off the 2 teams for getting here to the final. It's been a big week, but also a long season for both teams to make it to the national championships and now make it to a national final. There's still plenty of football to be played, but also the organizers. Of course, Nova Scotia, Soccer Nova Scotia, taking care of all the little nooks and nannies and everything and making sure everybody's doing well. From volunteers to the players, the coaches, the bus drivers, and everybody. They've done a wonderful job. And of course, you've got the Canada Soccer staff, which are here. They've done a wonderful job every year with the national championships, whether it's members from the committee like Judy Kellaway or whether it's from Canada Soccer staff like Kelsey Hunt. They've played a very big role in terms of putting this competition together.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the Soccer Nova Scotia staff, Lindsay McCaskill, who's been busy dealing with all the logistics and the day-to-day operations of this this great national tournament here. Shout out to Matt Holton and Nino Kovacevic there, who have also been great support roles here and done a great job in providing support for the teams, for the fans, and just generally having a great tournament here this week at Soccer Nova Scotia, and even on a Thanksgiving weekend, taking time out of with their families to make sure that this rolls smoothly. So shout out to those 3.
And there's been some good crowds throughout the week too, especially when the Halifax teams play, and we're seeing a little bit also here for the final where get a good couple hundred people, but also, you know, as we said earlier, some familiar faces that you see in the crowd, whether it was a Stephen Hart's been out to a few games, or former pro player Cam Mazurki saw earlier today. I hope to see Cindy Ty. And as part of Tech Finals, if we're giving center backs a shout out, as we always should, we'll have Danielle Henry, which will be taking part in Tech's Finals Day presentation later this afternoon.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even know that. And also saw Mike Ayash on our way in as well from the Vancouver Whitecaps set up there.
Yeah, Mike, a big part of that U20 squad too that helped us qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, working side by side with Cindy Ty.
Yeah, I saw Eddie Gavas here as well, whose son Yorgos Gavas signed a development contract with the Halifax Wanderers this year as well. Angelo Cianfagloni there, who was the former equipment manager for the Wanderers in year 1, along with Steve Hart. You can always see Angelo. I think he's got like a 1-bedroom apartment inside there at BMO. But no, I am Marvin O'Kello and Richard Scott. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back for the second half. Welcome back for the second half of the Toyota National Championship Finals here. We have from Montreal, CS Mont-Royal, and from Newfoundland we have Holy Cross, who are currently leading 2-0. I am Marvin O'Kello, and I'm here with Richard Scott.
Welcome everybody. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs. Ici pour les championnats nationaux de Canada Soccer. So here for Canada Soccer National Championships, and a quick shout out to our sponsors, CIBC, Nike, TELUS, Allstate, Toyota Canada, Visa, Carlsberg, Degree, Gatorade, GE Appliances, Maple Lodge Farms, GoGo Squeeze, Casada, Tech, Access Storage, and of course, as always, the Government of Canada. And as we mentioned, we've got in red today Holy Cross FC from St. John's, Newfoundland, and we've got in white going the other way CS Mont-Royal Outremont, otherwise known as the Griffins, and of course Holy Cross known as the Crusaders on the other side of the ball. Referee today, as if you've been watching, it will be Isabelle Duclos from Mascouche. This is her second national championships, and it is her first final.
And she did a great job in that first half, letting the players just play, only stopping when she absolutely needed to, and there's no advantage. There was a very clear foul, and we're underway with the second half as Montreal looks to get back into this game. They're going to need that next goal. It's very important that they score the next goal, because if Holy Cross makes it 3, it will be all but done. So very important that Montreal scores that next goal.
There's been one substitution change from the first half, and Alicia Agnew, one of the 3 midfielders, has come out. And that player that we talked about earlier, number 6, Alma, a very technical player on the ball, she's come in, and she's the player that they know can be a game changer. She's fast. She loves to take on players one-on-one, so she'll be an important player here in the second half.
And this is obviously Soccer Nova Scotia and Canada Soccer have collaborated on this event here for the Toyota National Championships, and we'll be back again on sale next Saturday at 10 a.m. The tickets will be going on sale for Canada Women versus Brazil on Halloween night here in Halifax at 7:30 p.m. at the wonderful Wanderers ground. So I've had the pleasure on working on the tickets for that game, and everyone and their mom has texted me to see if they can get access to that game. So when they go on sale on next Saturday at 10 a.m., you'll want to be sitting by the computer, because those tickets will go as fast as Taylor Swift.
It's a big match. The Olympic champions coming to town, and it's been more than 10 years since they've been out here on the East Coast, and with 2 matches in an international window these days, they've been able to pair up a pair of matches, one game in Montreal at Stade Saputo, and the second game here at Halifax grounds.
Definitely. I mean, and this is a good time to be a Voyager or a Canada Red member. They will have pre-sales beginning on the Tuesday. So anybody who's a Voyager or a Canada Red member, these are the times where you really enjoy the benefits of that membership. If you're not, you still have time to sign up and then get exclusive access to the pre-sales. Halifax Wanderers season ticket holders will also be getting a pre-sale on October 12th. So definitely get ready, have your visas ready, because there also is a visa pre-sale on October 13th as well, which will end all the other pre-sales. It is a standalone, so any tickets that are remaining after October 12th from the Canada Red, Voyagers, and Wanderer season ticket holders, there will be a visa pre-sale on the 13th, where the only method of payment accepted will be Visa. But exciting ticket for Halifax here, as the Wanderers have done great in finishing 3rd in the CPL this year, and will also be hosting a playoff match on Saturday the 14th at 3 p.m. So exciting times for soccer here in Nova Scotia and in Canada, and it's nice that we get a slice of the action here in Halifax at the Wanderers grounds, especially as we look to expand on that stadium that we have and try to be able to host some bigger events, such as this Canada versus Brazil test match here. So.
And I'm not going to lie, I was really hoping that Halifax would finish 4th and Ottawa would have finished 5th and would have had a chance to watch them in the first round of the playoffs on Wednesday, but alas, they avoid that Wednesday middle of the week match this week.
For sure. I'll be honest. I'm on the opposite end of that. I'm happy I have a little bit more time until next Saturday, especially with all those pre-sales and everything happening. And as number 6 looks to get right into the action there, that's Alma. Great cut by number 13. Possible penalty there as she was taken out after the play. And I think we're seeing the call for the injury, but I thought she might give the penalty as well, because as soon as she cut the ball there, Sephra, she was taken out by the defender.
And right away that you saw on the first touch that Alma's had in this game, that already she's making a difference, and she's just combining there right now with Sephra. And of course, hopefully that she's doing okay there.
As we saw on the replay there, great cutback, and then the defender runs right into her there.
Sephra's played a lot of minutes this week. She's started all 4 games. But come off only a couple times, so a couple full 90.
We'll look at it one more time. Great cut on the left. She gets rid of the ball, and boom, the defender. I mean, it's a tough one for the ref, because she was looking to see where the play was developing with the ball, so didn't really get a chance to see it. But we hope that she's fine there. The number 13, Sephra Katani.
Well, we've got a break in the action now. Maybe just talk a little more about Canada Soccer Women's National Team, and chance to see some of not just the heroes from 3 Olympic medals, but also some of the young players that are coming up through the system. A few U20 players that Cindy Tai has coached that could be into that lineup when it gets released for October. And if you're looking for the Nova Scotia connection, the other one would be, of course, Ashley Lawrence. And her mom is, of course, Ashley's from Ontario, but her mom is from Nova Scotia, so a little bit of a Nova Scotia connection there for you. We're one of the best players in the world. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had a lot of talent coming out of Nova Scotia into the national program. We've already talked about the Cindy Ties. You know, we had Mary Beth Bowie, Claire Parsons at one point was there, Kemji Azarike, who also had a great career in Michigan. So we've been spoiled here in Nova Scotia on the female side, but it'll be great to host some of these bigger talents like the Jordan Haitaimas and the Kadisha Buchanan, and you know, some of these really experienced pros who are making their trade out in Europe with teams like Lyon and PSG in the women's league there. So this is a big game, and an inspiring one for the local players as well. You know, you have the UDFC team playing for bronze over the other side, and there's a lot of players on that team who still have a chance to play for the national team. You know, some of the younger players, and having a match like this in their own backyard to see it with their own eyes, you know, what that level looks like, I think will be really, really good for the locals, and you know, some of the U15, 16 players that will be in the Whitecaps Academy and the Rex programs and things like that. This is a really good opportunity for them to see what the top level players look like, and Brazil will be no walkover by any means. On the men's and women's side, they're a competitive team, so it should be a really good quality match here on Halloween night. And just maybe to close off before we get back to the action, of course, not just for Halifax, but also the surrounding areas, and of course, the fans from Moncton will remember watching Brazil and Marta back in 2015 at the Women's World Cup. So another chance to see Marta out here on the East Coast, but again, this time up against Sinky and the Canadian team. Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing Marta, somebody who's shown that she's not just good at playing with women, but she played in the men's league as well, and was able to hold her own. So Marta recognized, I think she's 6-time World Player of the Year, I believe. So maybe don't quote me on that one. Might be 7 by the time she gets here, but definitely a lot of talent that will be on display on that October 31st match on Halloween night. And back to this match, we saw the number 6 there, Alma, who came in as a sub, who immediately started running at the defenders and getting into some pockets. So a good substitute there for Mont-Royal that they wish they would have had for 90 minutes, just based off of that small sample we got from her in the first minute there. Yeah, but that's how the game has changed. Is especially, obviously, with this competition, the teams are allowed to make unlimited substitutions at halftime, and then additional 5 substitutions. At the pro, at the international level, of course, it's no longer 3 subs, it's now 5 subs, which, you know, maybe lets you change your entire forward line and 2 fullbacks. So there's a lot more planning when it comes to substitutions. And throughout this competition, we've seen Alma's started only one of the 4 games in the group phase, and she's otherwise been used off that bench. So she's that burst of energy, that game changer that can come in the second half. And of course, the Griffins have been leading. They were up, they had a lead in all the first 3 games. They went down 1-0 in their 4th game and came away with a 1-1 draw. And they need 2 goals to come back today.
Looks like there was another substitute as well. Number 4, Maria Bakir Sharif, is coming into the match. And that's for Mont-Royal. So a couple changes, and they need them. They're down 2-0 at halftime, and this is the final, so they got to throw everything they can at them. You will sometimes see, as a team's trying to get back into it, that Holy Cross might pull a third, but that is the risk versus reward we were talking about in the first half there.
Yeah, the other changes is we're just working out the lineups now. Casey, number 9, who has also come in, Christy Kellner. And she's usually been coming in for the last 10-15 minutes of a match, and she'll likely get a little longer run out today. And here's a big chance.
The keeper's way out of her net there. A good chance for number 18, Shayla Hay, to get a ball into the box. But the keeper now back into her net. But there's a good chance there.
And just some good defending there, I think, too, from Kira Lamoy, number 13 there, just to kind of push the player away and let Shannon get back into goal, because Shannon was well out of her box. She couldn't use her hands, and a little lucky perhaps just on that opportunity there.
Definitely, yeah. She found herself in no man's land, as they call it. There's the number 9, the other sub there. You mentioned Christy Kellner with her first shot towards target, but well blocked. Good feet from Aline, who wriggles back to her right foot, but just unable to wrap it around to get it back towards net. But good start early on in the second half here from Mont-Royal, the young team pushing forward and taking a few more risks.
And Christy has come in for the injured number 13, Sephra. And Christy, I would say, was probably maybe a little more central, and perhaps is now going to be asked to play a little more on the wing like Sephra, but definitely a different type player. Christy's a much taller player that you'll see out there, where Sephra is that player that you saw in the first half that like to cut in and out and have the ball at her feet. Just the play here now on the left side. Griffin's looking to build the play up.
Well, it's Abby Evans who tries to spray it down to the right-hand side, but it's quickly cut out by the substitute, Maria Bakir Sharif. Gets just out of range there, but trying to get involved in the game as quickly as possible. Most of the play down that far side of the field there so far. But from what I've seen, they'll want to look to switch it over to number 6, Alma, to give her a chance to run at her defender, because she showed that she is tricky, and she showed she has some pace as well.
You could just hear that voice there on the other side of the pitch, and that's the coach, Jake Stanford. He's been to about 20 or so of these national championships at the different age groups, both on the men's and women's sides. And he'll be communicating with his players throughout the match. Just another chance of, how grateful we are always for everybody on the Atlantic coast, and especially here in Halifax, constantly reminded of what a wonderful corner of the country it is. And a couple of people like myself that grew up on the West Coast have made those comments that, when we come here to Halifax, it maybe reminds us a little bit back home. But a wonderful week, and of course I've had the pleasure to work with a Halifax boy in Brad Fougier in Ottawa for many years, and so always good to be out here in Halifax.
Definitely, shout out to Brad Fougier. I'm just hearing too that Edmonton clinched the bronze medal as well in the other field there. I didn't get the scoreline unfortunately, but Edmonton defeating UDFC to claim bronze in the women's category.
And it was a tough Group A for Holy Cross to come out on top undefeated, but definitely between Sur United Soccer Club, who has a few national champions in their lineup, they ended up finishing third in the group, so they'll play for 5th place. Edmonton Drillers, who had some big names from the old Edmonton Angel squad, and a shout out to their head coach Rick Haxby, who of course has won 5 national championships with those Edmonton teams. So they took 2nd place in Group A and now a bronze medal. But here we are with Holy Cross, and they've come out 1st place in Group A with 4 games undefeated, and now up 2-0 here in the final.
And great job by local side UDFC, who had a rough start to the tournament, but really picked up momentum in their last few games. Some strong performances from the likes of Michelle Yates, Caitlin McIsaac, Megan Earl, just a few of the key players in that team. So great job to them in representing the province well and finishing 4th place in this national championship.
It's been wonderful weather all week long. A little bit of wind this morning, but not too much. I think the last time I called a national championships match out here, there was nothing but seagulls up there on top of the building.
That sounds about right. Now it has its own weather system up here at Soccer Nova Scotia. You know, there was one day where I came here and it was sunny and completely clear. By halftime it was hailing, and by full time it was full-on downpour. So you never know what to expect, and that's why you saw me bring my layers here today. Because who knows what's the weather will be by that men's final at 12:30. We could see some rain. As number 6, the substitute Alma, looks to get forward, but well defended. Cleared again by Emily Bailey, back to her center back, who gets rid of it. The attempted back heel from Asamede Yara. And Rose here clears the danger.
It out there. Both teams are missing a few players into this competition. Maya Fortier-Tam and Eva Bouti, 2 players who weren't able to come through with the Griffins this week. And their head coach wasn't available. Damien Jury had to head back, but of course was in contact with the team, with the video messaging this morning, and of course in good hands with the regular staff that's here. And of course you've got Georges-Eric Pinson, who's in charge today.
Rose Hughes with her 3rd clearance in the last 30 seconds. She's getting a lot of pressure down this side. Mont-Royal finally get a chance to clear the danger and go forward. As Christy Kellner is a target down the line. But that's well cut out there by Terry Murphy. Fires it forward to Jane Pope, who tries to spin, but well defended there by Sofia Riccardelli.
Just a couple touches there at the top of the box from the left winger Jane Pope, last year's most valuable player, already 4 goals in the early part of this competition. And it was her corner kicks that have led to both goals in today's match.
And looks like she wins the corner there. To the dismay of Montreal defenders, but I think it did get a touch there from the number 12, Sophia. So another chance for Jane Pope to add to this lead through set pieces. She's had some great deliveries so far, and look to get the 3rd and most likely clinching goal to win this final if they're able to get another one here. That's a great ball. Cleared at the 2nd attempt. Put back in by Keisha Young. And that was a chance for Emily Bailey, who just couldn't get enough there as the defender did well to shield her. And she got the toe poke away, but not enough power behind that to test the goalie. But Newfoundland pushing. Holy Cross in here, another chance to cut it back to number 8, Kate Hickey. Ends up at the foot of Alyssa Armstrong, who tries from range, but just couldn't get underneath it there.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, Holy Cross has done well to get the ball in the box, and I think Emily Bailey probably could have had a hat trick by now, but she does have one goal from inside the box from a set play with the ball just kind of bouncing around, and was able to tap that 2-0 goal in.
Yeah, especially having some subs in the front there for Mont-Royal. I'd like to see them play in Holy Cross's half a bit more. I think they're a little bit too comfortable at times and a bit too slow with the build up out of the back. I think you got to just fire it forward, give those young legs a chance to chase the ball and cause the back line trouble there. You see that Shannon Galloway is way out of her net, so I'd like to see them push her back and really try to get one back here as we're in the 64th minute. Less than half an hour now. Good touch there, and that's probably a foul. Yeah, and you get one late there.
I think that's Shayla again, just who's knocked down. Tricky player that if she's moving one way or another, it's perhaps a little easier to take down because you don't know which way she's going to go.
And you're hearing some of the fans say it's not rugby, but the defender just using her experience there to just slow down the counterattack and allow her team to get set up here for this set piece.
And Holy Cross has been pretty comfortable. I mean, obviously they had two tough matches, and I'd probably say that Surrey United did very well in terms of pushing them back, and that's when Holy Cross played in their fourth game with 5 defenders at the back, but they're sticking with 4 at the back right now. They're 4-2-3-1 kind of formation, and as we've talked, they've got some good experienced players. And
yeah, it was a good attempt there from Maria, the sub, number 4. Try to just give her defender the old inside out, but her touch on the outside was just a bit too heavy and goes out for a goal kick. Gives a chance for Shannon Galloway to clear the danger.
Just before the ball gets in, just maybe a shout out to some of the players that didn't get to come through here. Danny Yunker, who's away at med school, just kind of last minute. She was on the lineup, but wasn't able to come through. Claire Keane, who just a weekend before just did her MCL and not here, and then Lauren Taylor also not available for this competition. And of course, Alex Morgan, you'll see her on the bench right now. She hasn't had a chance yet to play in this competition. So she's been injured. And then Connie Lewis, who's started all 4 games and was injured in the last game. So we're not too sure if we'll get to see her in today's final. Otherwise, she would have been a regular starter for the Holy Cross side.
Yeah, definitely important to shout out all those players because they did their contribution in getting their teams to get here. It's always unfortunate when you miss out through injury, but it is a big part of the game, and I know from experience since turning 30, those injuries really start to mount up. That's why I was surprised when you said that the Mont-Royal team had played pretty much the exact same lineup. It's like, they're young. Yeah. Great delivery in there from Keisha Young. Christy Kellner asking for a foul there because she was pulled down and not really much attempt on the ball, but the ref happy to let the play go, much to the dismay of the Mont-Royal fans.
We don't know if back home you can hear some of the comments from the fans, as you may have with some of the matches, but still a good another 25 plus minutes to go, and lots of time still, I think, for the Griffins in terms of what we've seen that they're capable to do. Again, it's a young squad, the youngest squad in this year's tournament. Most of the players kind of 19 to 20, 22 age.
Yeah, and based on that, I'd like to see them return again next year. Build on what they've done here this year, take their experience, and there's still 20 plus minutes left in this final, but it would really take something special from this young group to get back against this very, very experienced Holy Cross team, showing why they're here in back-to-back finals and looking to win back-to-back titles. But I'm sure they'll be having a few players who will be getting ready to retire and maybe not come back for next year. So there is an opportunity for this young Mont-Royal squad to return next year with some experience under their belt and try to reclaim. But in this last 20 minutes, we'll see if they can't push and try to get an equalizer, maybe send us to penalties. And that's a great ball there by Terry Murphy over to Jane Pope down the left-hand side, but well defended again by Sophia, the number 12.
She's won another corner kick. Quite a few of these that Jane Pope, and she's taken, I think, every one so far.
Good delivery on both the right foot and left foot, and I can't tell you how difficult that is. You know, we mentioned earlier the Cindy Tai was highlighting the importance of that. She was probably the only other player that I know who was able to take free kicks on both the right foot and left foot. And equally great delivery right on the money. Well done by Jane Pope. It takes a lot of time and practice to be able to do that, but it's a real asset, as you're seeing there. Number 6, Alma on the counterattack, trying to use her pace. Gets by the number 13, Kiara Molly. But does a great job of making her check back. A little nutmeg from Alma, but good covering.
Yeah, you could just see that's that game changer 1v1 mentality that she's got on the pitch.
No nonsense defending from the number 17, Sarah Jones, who cleared for her teammate there after she had the nutmeg.
You go back to that corner kick a few minutes ago, great delivery. The header was from Terry Murphy. Got my 6s and 8s sorted out now, but on that chance, and just almost spilled away, but they were able to.
Oh, as she blows a tire there.
And now we're going this way.
Chance for the number 4, Emily Bailey, to take advantage of the mistake by the defender there, by number 17, Casey Kosher, with the mistake. Looks like the ball just got stuck on her studs.
We had a chance to chat with Sophia earlier in the week after they got their 3 wins in a row, and you know, again, she's telling us it's a good group of players that have been together for a number of years. They've grown up together. They have a lot of passion for the game, and you know, they're training 3 times a week, sometimes 2+ hours per session, and you know, again, they love it, and you know, that's a big part of their success. And when they're playing well, that you know, that they want to show how well they can play.
100%. You said it there. You know, having a passion for the game is really important. You know, and a lot of people see it as, yeah, it is just another job, but with soccer and with sports, having that extra fire, you know, to do that extra run, to do that extra practice, to do that extra workout, is really makes a difference in tournaments like this. You know, we mentioned that they played 4 games in a row, this Holy Cross team, and just having that extra grit and motivation to want to win really makes a difference in those extra moments, you know, where you're in the 90th minute and you got to make that run back, you know. Did you do that extra run the day before? Did you put in that extra effort? These are the moments that it really comes out and shows.
Well, as Jake Stanford said ahead of the game, you know, they're missing some players, but you know, they're from Newfoundland, so they'll make do, and they'll find a way to push through. And of course, they still got to push for another 20+ minutes or so, but yeah, they're up 2-0 and looking very comfortable right now, of becoming the first ever Newfoundland Labrador team to repeat as national champions.
Be very impressive. Just the consistency that they've had with their squad, and the results of always being able to get back up here and not just compete on their provincial level, but on a national level. It takes a lot of organization, takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of consistency. You know, is the main word there, which is hard to find in sports.
And you know what, this Holy Cross team is probably where the Griffins were, you know, 10 years ago, in terms of this is a group of players that have grown up together, played together. There's 5 of them that, you know, won a U16 silver medal together, and here they are years later, you know, 10, 12 years later, again in a national final.
Yeah, because I had the pleasure of, you know, way back in 2011 going to our first nationals with Suburban FC at the time. Luckily to play with the likes of Mesut Mert, who's well known in the game, and Jonathan Cordoba, who went on to win it with Western in 2017. And it's tough, even game one for us, Jonathan Cordoba was by far our best player, and we're up 3-0, and he gets injured day one, and that really made it difficult for us to place in that tournament. But it just shows the importance of having every single player on your team play a role throughout the tournament. Injuries are inevitable, but having that squad depth like Holy Cross has had over these last 10-15 years is really impressive, and that's a credit to the coaching staff and the trainers for being able to allow that to happen. Because after 2011, that was the last time that Suburban has been to the men's nationals until now, 2023. So just shows you how tough it is. And they're looking to get started in their bronze medal game on the other field there momentarily. But we're not done yet here. It is 2-0, 75th minute. Holy Cross up 2-0 off of set piece goals. And Mont-Royal looking to push with some subs. Number 6, Alma, came in, and number 9, Christy Kellner, as well as number 4, Maria Bakir Sharif. The 3 substitutes that are trying to make a difference in the second half.
And you'll see, I think, that Holy Cross will hold on to this 11 as much as possible. They do have the advantage of having yesterday off. And then they will turn to some of their players on the bench, but of course a little short benched at this point of the competition. So Aline to Alma to Osa.
Aline did a great job of going forward after she laid that into Alma. But again, really well defended by the tough number 17, Sarah Jones. As she looks to move forward to take this throw. I don't know about you, Richard, but she's been one of the players for me, that number 17, Sarah Jones. She's been a rock back there. We saw her clean up for her teammate when she got nutmegged. We've seen her go up for set pieces. We've seen her defending. She's done a little bit of everything in this match.
And she's one of those 16 players that was in Vaughan last year, part of the national championship side. This year getting maybe a little more regular shifts in terms of that right back position. And right now, obviously in the first half we had that number 13 Sephra out there that she's handled well, and now of course number 6 Alma, who's kind of come in. So we've just had a couple of changes from both teams here at about the 75-minute mark, 77 minutes.
So number 12 from Mont-Royal leaving, that's Sephra Riccardelli. Number 15 from Holy Cross, that's Abby Evans, who are leaving, being replaced by number...
Sophia, who is one of the fullbacks. She's usually kind of come out, and she might come back in, which is one of the allowances with this competition. We'll just get a confirmation on the 2 subs that I've got here. And coming in was Lily Raphael Couvrette, the little number 8. And so she'll play in. And then on Newfoundland Labrador,
number 20, Anna O'Coin, coming in. So that's the last roll of the dice, as we'd say, for the 2 teams. Try to see if they can make a difference coming off the bench, especially for Mont-Royal. Number 20, Anna O'Coin, will look to combine. That's number 20, Anna O'Coin, is actually on Holy Cross, looking to close the doors on Mont-Royal.
And a little shout out to our colleague Chelsea, who's at the 4th official desk and texting us those updates as they come through with the substitutions.
Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea's also my coworker at the Halifax Wanderers. Good to see her out here supporting this tournament as well. formerly, I'm wondering if you knew Chelsea from her time in Ottawa. I know she used to work with the Ottawa Fury.
Yeah, obviously it's a few times that we've been at different competitions, and whether it was Canadian Championship, which is the highest men's pro competition, which is held every year.
Chelsea,
and
a
again,
big,
as we said earlier, any chance you get to come out to Halifax, you got to come out to Halifax.
for sure. Chelsea's a big part of the women's game here in Nova Scotia as the president of the MSWSL.
Okay.
Works with Dalhousie University, supporting their both men's and women's soccer teams. Game day director for the Halifax Wanderers, and now you're seeing here supporting these national tournaments. So safe to say that ball is life for Chelsea Norris. One of her first touches. Selena Chiv hasn't done too much in the second half, but trying to get more involved here as just run out of field there for Jane Pope to keep the ball in play. As you mentioned, she's had 4 goals so far this tournament, having a couple great set pieces today. Definitely one of the players of the tournament for Holy Cross there, number 29, Jane Pope.
Yeah, without question, the leader, the big player on the team. A couple players, of course, that aren't here from last year. The goalkeeper that had been there for a number of years, and then Mallory Harris, who was one of the province's big goal scorers, is also now retired. But the core, again, 16 of those 20 players that were in Vaughan last year are here, and mind you, a couple players unavailable through injury now after a few days here, but
Number 6, Alma tries to get the shot off, wriggles over to her left, but...
And that was Jessie Nosor that took it in the stomach. And again, when we talk about kind of the injuries and players playing out of position, so she's a regular striker, and she's slotted in, done a good job this week at center back. And of course, not just shout out to Shannon Gall with a goalkeeper, but those center backs have helped put together 4 straight clean sheets at this year's tournament, so they're yet to concede a goal.
Not a sentence you're going to hear
games.
often. They're a striker being willing to do a job at center back.
Well, so she's got the height, and so I think she can.
Shows how much team spirit she has, because I'll tell you, as an attacking player, the one position if a coach asked me to play center back, I'd be saying, Coach, I'd rather be on the bench.
You'll get to it one day. We've had a couple big heroes that have gone back and forth between the 2 positions.
For sure, I do find as I age, I seem to be falling further and further back on the lineup there. They had me playing in the 6th this summer. Maybe next summer I won't have a choice. They'll have me at center back, but not looking forward to that. Good chance again for Mont-Royal to go forward.
And
another
do
foul.
Know that fans in Newfoundland who are tuned into this game, this is Richard Scott, Morgan O'Kelly, but I'd just like to maybe a little shout out to Dee Murphy, who called more than a few national championships for the Newfoundland fans back in the day. And sorry, you do have our voices instead today.
And that's a yellow card for accumulation of fouls on number 3, Keisha Young. She's gotten away with a few there, but the ref finally went to her book and gives her the yellow card. Go with a short free kick there to number 14, Asameda, who eventually puts the ball into the back post. Well cleared. Falls back to Selena, who's unable to get the ball back in the danger box.
Who's been your favorite player in today's game?
It's a tough one. I mean, I think the obvious one is Jane Pope. She's done a lot on going forward for her team, taking set pieces. She switched from the right to the left a few times. So for me, that's probably the one for, I'd say a tie between her and Sarah Jones on Holy Cross. Defenders don't always get a lot of love, doing the grunt work and making sure that they protect that lead once they were able to have it. So those are the 2 players for me on Holy Cross. Before we go over to the other team, who would be your player from Holy Cross or 2?
Well, the obvious choice, of course, and again, I always like the strikers. Yeah, the delivery on those 2 corner kicks for me, for Jane Pope, have been the difference in this game.
And shout out to Shannon Galloway as well,
Yeah.
who's done a great job of keeping the shutout so far.
And that's what the coaches said at the head of the tournament through 4 games. She's been kind of a big part of this group in terms of their success that they've had this week.
Now, what about on the other side? I'll get you to go first there. On Mont-Royal, who will be your standout performer?
If we're going to see a difference maker, it is that number 6, Ama, who's come in. She's got some legs, and she wants to make that change. But without question, from the few games I've seen, little number 13, Sefra, was also a big part of the team, and a lot of fun to watch.
Definitely, and I want to give a shout out to number 14 as well, Osamede. She's been an anchor in that back there, getting the midfielders out of trouble a few times there. You saw that number 17, Casey Kosher, kind of, had that mistake with the ball getting stuck on her cleats, but she's done a great job of clearing the danger on a number of occasions, and has just been a real anchor in the back there for Mont-Royal. So shout out to number 14 as well, Osamede. But as you said, number 13, Sefra, has had a great game. Number 12 as well, Sophia, having to go against Jane Pope on that side, did a great job for the most part. But lots of great performances here today. But if you had to pick the one for you, it was number 13, Sefra on Mont-Royal, eh?
Yeah, from that first half and the other games. But
definitely agree
with that. Of
that.
course, it needs to be number 6 now for the next 5 minutes plus added time. It needs to be number 6 and
you play with a bit more urgency too. This is all too slow for me from Mont-Royal. Like you need 2 goals, not 1.
Yeah.
And they're playing in their half just a bit too much.
And you saw that urgency in their last game when they were down 1-0 against Caledon. They upped the tempo, and maybe you haven't seen that quite so much today, but you obviously do have a team in Holy Cross which are able to kind of have a lot of stops and starts and break things up.
And here she goes, number 6, looking to drive forward. Alma well defended there again by number 3, Keisha Young, who's been another one to look out for at this match. She's been tough to get around.
And she'll be the one that lifts the trophy.
Good
Should they
attempt.
hold on for the next little bit, the team captain there.
Good attempt with the left foot there from the number 18, Shayla He, from range. Unable to really test Shannon Galway, but it's good that they're at least trying to get some shots here and see if they can make a nervous ending for this match for Holy Cross.
And you'll start to see it. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of it yet. Just Holy Cross can hold on to the ball. If Jane Pope gets the ball now, you probably won't see her drive towards the goal. You'll see her drive towards the corner flag, as she's done in other games with the lead.
I'm not sure. Looks like one of the players or therapists just got a yellow card there. I don't know what they had to say, but nobody's safe. That's an interesting one. You don't see that very often.
No, and the Griffins have a good staff, and of course, I've got my personal favorites on the staff too. When it comes to Max Henry, has worked with Canada Soccer's national teams and was also a part of the FIFA Women's World Cup back in 2015 with the LOC in Montreal. But it's a very good organization. They've been building something special over the years, and it's good to see them here at the national championships. And for a group of players which are mostly 19 to 23 years old, to come away with a silver medal is an excellent achievement for the group.
Definitely, especially when you consider that how young that team is. So this definitely shouldn't be their last time. Hopefully, it's just first of many, and they'll look to rebuild and make another run.
And I think it's important that we continue talking about Project 8 Sports and what Dinah Matheson and her group are doing for women's football right now. And it's not just that it's time, both in what you were seeing with women's hockey, with women's soccer. It was probably time many years ago. But you know what? That project is, and those teams and that league that comes out in 2025 is going to be a game changer for the sport in Canada.
100%.
And it's fantastic, and it's not just about, you know, the young boys and young girls that are going to watch it. You know what? It's also going to be the hardcores that, you know, I want a team in Ottawa, and you know, you're going to want to follow them week in, week out, and that's what football is, and community is a big part of it. So,
Yeah.
you know, tremendously proud of such a smart person, Diana Matheson, in terms of what her and her group are doing, and also what, you know, already we're seeing with the Whitecaps, Calgary Foothills, AFC Toronto have already stepped in. So exciting to watch kind of how that league builds out between now and 2025.
Definitely. You know, the Project 8 is a great project for continuing the development of women's soccer here. I actually, about a month ago, sat down with Erin McLeod, the goalkeeper from the Olympic winning team, and we did a podcast as part of the Together for Change series I do for the Halifax Wanderers. So that'll be coming out in the next week, and we talk about the development of the women's game. And obviously she was a key player in that tournament, and she had a lot to say about what she wants to see happen as we continue to invest in the future of soccer and ahead of the 2026 World Cup for men's as well. Things that she'd like to see continue to create more pathways for girls and women to be able to play here in their own backyard like the men have been able to with the CPL. Number 6, Alma, who had that collision earlier on with number 13, Kiara Malloy. So great to see that they both were able to come away from that. And
Big
great
chance
shot.
there.
I'll let you take that one there.
Number 9, Christy Kellner, just on the end. And she was the one that came in as playing as a winger for the injured Sephra, but great shot there just at the end.
Yeah, I think she could have let it come down a little bit more to be able to get that on target. She was being pressured by the defender, but it was a good chance there on the right foot on the volley. She was looking for that top left corner and just needed it to sit down just a little bit more and could have set up a really nervy finish. But as of right now, we have number 4, Maria Sharif, trying to get the ball in the box, and Shannon Galloway will just step on that and eat up a bit more of the clock. As we're now played the full 90 minutes, so we're in injury time, see how much that the ref gives. Otherwise, Holy Cross will be lifting national championship title back-to-back. Very impressive feat. As number 6, Terry Murphy, clears the danger once again. Great bit of skill.
Selena.
From Selena. Sombreros it over a defender, passes it to her teammate, number 18, Shayla He, who could have gotten the shot off, but is able to win the free kick in a dangerous area. Her teammate, number 9, Christy Kellner, again had a shot with her right foot that fired just over, but the ref calls it back for the foul on Shayla He, number 18 there, as she was wriggling away from a couple defenders. She was tackled on her ankle.
Now, for when the ref is standing, it looks like that Red Cross wall is going to have to move back a little bit, but it'll just eat up some precious moments there in the setup. And it is going to be Osa, number 14, that's going to take it. It looks like it.
Chance to get a shot on target here and set up a really exciting finish.
Don't know if they're going to try to play anything to the left or right, but looks like she's looking for a straight-on delivery.
Oh, well blocked. And they clear the danger. It's a decent free kick, but would have liked to see her go over the wall into one of those corners. She went the more power route, ended up low, and one of the defenders was able to clear it. Probably the last chance there for Mont-Royal to really test Shannon Galloway, who will walk away with another clean sheet and has put in a great performance in this tournament so far, unless Mont-Royal is able to get one in this last 30 seconds maybe to a minute.
And this is where Jake is pretty vocal and pretty active on the sidelines, but well deserved that he will be helping this squad win a second national championships, and to the full squad, but also to everybody back home in Newfoundland. This is a proud moment for the team.
And the traveling fans here from Newfoundland getting ready to celebrate as well to our right. They got the pom-poms ready, they got the flags ready.
Squad that's here: Jane Pope, Noel Stanford, Bethany Lee, Anna O'Coin, Sarah Jones, Abby Evans, Chelsea Tiller, Kara Malloy, Connie Lewis, Kate Hickey, Terry Murphy, Jessie Noseworthy, Emily Bailey, Keisha Young, Alyssa Armstrong, Shannon Galway, and yes, Alex Morgan on the bench. She wasn't able to get in, but big part of this team. And
there it is. Holy Cross winning back-to-back national championships with an impressive 2-0 victory to keep out a very young side from Mont-Royal. No goals, able to get past them with a strong performance from the keeper, Shannon Galloway, as she records a clean sheet in the final, making a couple important saves. And strong performances, as we said, from the defender Sarah Jones, number 17. Great attacking performance from attacker number 29, Jane Pope, who already has 4 goals in the tournament. And they will be partying tonight as they win back-to-back golds. Great showing, though, from CS Mont-Royal with the young squad, the oldest player on the team being 26 years old. So this is a team we will most likely be seeing in the next year or in the next couple of years coming back to try to win this title back. But for now, it's Holy Cross who is celebrating back-to-back golds with a 2-0 convincing victory here at Mainland Common in Sauk, Nova Scotia in the 2023 edition of the Toyota National Championships.
And that's our match 1 of 2, and I'll let you sign us out before we go down in between the 2 matches. But big congratulations to Noel, Jake Stanford, and the entire Holy Cross FC club, and everybody back in Newfoundland.
Yeah, we've been spoiled with some great footy so far this morning. That's 1 final down, 1 more to go. 2 goals and a great match between these 2 teams. So we'll get set up for the men's final here between Western from Nova Scotia, who will look to bring home a medal for the local team. And I am Marvin O'Kello, Richard Scott. We'll see you soon.